for Dolan to face off against in this next match.
I think that's fair to say. I think that's very fair to say here. And
I hope it's great.
Me too. As we have spawning up in the top right for Psystorm Gaming, it is Epic.
And down here in the bottom left-hand side of the map, we have our red Terran player who I know I've just anti-hyped this series, but now here's where I turn it back around. We're at the second act, and I'm ready to hype this man up. It is Danger Dolan from Cranky Ducklings, a man who is not the same player he was in 2018, in 2019, in 2020, 2021, and 2022, when all of those times, 9 of those losses came from. Dolan is actually just like a different level than he was at any point in the past. He's truly ascended in the last, I want to say, about year. And he has become a very innovative player. I mean, he's always been a bit innovative, but he's found ways to make that innovation work in his favor. He's been able to find success against much stronger players. This is the best chance I've ever seen Dolan have against Epic in his career.
Damn. Sold. I'm down. I'm down to see
still
this
favor
one.
Epic, but I think he has the best chance he's ever had.
Yeah. I think that's a very cool and astute point. I definitely also favor Epic, but I like the idea of an even match here. I definitely would like to see that. Unfortunately, audio just had itself a little time, so audio is currently a little bit borked.
Okay.
So we cannot hear audio in the game, but that is a little bit unfortunate. I do apologize for that one. Tried to fix it and of course broke it more.
We'll make we're at that point now where I was telling you, Dave, I made the poor decision of not preparing any food before the show. So I'm at that point now of being very hungry after being awake since like 4 a.m. I can just make the sound effects for you, man. We'll make Reaper attacking sound effects and everything. Here we go. Pew 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 pew.
Okay. Ba-bang, ba-bang.
I'll stop. Ba-bang, ba-bang.
We do see, by the way, it is a 1-Rax expand from Dolan. And anytime you can get away with this in TVT and you don't, suffer any losses in response, it's a really, really nice thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
No, it absolutely is. We do have Cyclone going to be popping out over here for Dolan. So he's going to have like his kind of big safety Cyclone available. It's going to be able to help push back the Reapers and everything that Epic now has current map control with. But I think stylistically, I did want to also say something about Epic is that he hates his own Reapers, apparently. Oh my God, that was kind of brutal. We have Epic. Epic is a player who I think is notoriously strong with his macro play. I really, really think he is an unbelievably strong macro player amongst like the NA Terrans. And so that is the thing that will scare me in the long term.
Yeah.
Dolan, I think of as being a very good preparation player who can come into a series with a particular build or strategy prepared. And I'm more interested in seeing what Dolan's going to have going on for the first like 8 to 10 minutes of the game. And after that, I'm ready to be proven wrong by Danger Dolan. But I think that's where Epic, I feel like, is going to shine a little bit more.
Yeah. Now, we do see that, speaking of prep, Dolan did go for something that on paper is very good against what Epic has done. That is a quick Viking against this 4-Marine tank drop. But unfortunately for him, Epic just kind of snuck past everything and has now set up this very strong position in the natural. This is looking really rough for Dolan. He is going to try and break this auto turret getting dropped, but he's going to lose a lot of... Actually, no, it ain't so bad. No, that's not bad at all. Gets the full cleanup.
Yeah, Dolan got so close to losing so many units that didn't quite die. But as I say that, there are still a handful of these Marines. The Raven survives. A handful more of these SCVs do end up falling. A lot more of the Marines end up falling as well. But he does get the cleanup there, at least.
He certainly does. And that's pretty nice right there for Dolan. But Epic has now pulled ahead in the worker count with that. Very important that he kept the Raven and the Viking alive, I think. Going to be able to repair at least, well, he could have repaired both back up to full, but he repairs the Raven back up to full, which is the more important thing.
Mm-hmm.
I still think I like this for Dolan. Is he on 3 CCs? He is. Yeah, okay. I definitely still like this for Dolan. He's faster into the double engineering bay. He's got that extra Raven. Yeah, Dolan's going to be able to make, as long as his SCV production is good, he's going to be able to make up a lot of the difference in terms of the timing. But you mentioned it, and I really want to drive this point home. One of the greatest strengths of Epic as a player is his ability to just macro. Period. Mm-hmm. Just pure macro is so strong. Really a big fan of how he builds units.
I like how he produces things from his production facilities at a consistent rate and levels his economy through consistent worker production. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, unironically, yes. Like that, there is an art to it, and obviously we're at the very top level. We just expect that, but it's not a given, and there are still players that are better at it than others, and Epic is one of those players that really stands tall in the NA region.
No, absolutely, and it definitely becomes more and more noticeable as the game goes on, and it's just simply a lot more to do, and Epic makes sure that he's still giving it due priority. So. It's something that Dolan's going to have to be on the lookout for later. But like you said, I do like the fact that Dolan's able to get up that faster third base. He's able to get those upgrades going just ever so slightly faster with Stim a good bit faster. I mean, there's definitely a lot of things that are going pretty decently for Dolan just based off the fact that he managed to make that defense happen and didn't end up losing a ton of his units that got very close to dying there.
Yeah, that is quite nice. Obviously, Command Center with a little oopsie placement. But a much bigger oopsie for Epic is that he forgot +1 armor. That is very late relative to his +1 attack. There's already an upgrade timing advantage for Dolan. If Dolan... Okay, he has forgotten his armory. Oh, man, if Dolan had started his armory on time, this would have been such a good setup for a big 2-2 timing advantage. He does start the armory now, but it is about 40 seconds late. That is a problem. But regardless, Epic is also very late on the armor timing. That could be a big deal. Now, Epic, because his upgrades were a little bit later in terms of Stim and combat shields, he did go double Tech Lab and got them both at once. So Dolan's going to have to be a little bit careful that he doesn't take a fight when his opponent has shields and he doesn't. But regardless, let's see if Dolan can do something. He will have that combat shields very shortly.
Yeah, there is a pretty narrow window here where there won't be combat shields for Dolan, and he's going to identify the armies over there. He's going to Stim to run away with a handful of his Marines, and yeah, there's no reason why you would try and take a fight in the next 3 seconds. Oh my God, he takes a fight in those 3 seconds, and he does finally get his combat shields, but I think that his units are, well, even with the interference matrix, it looks like he is still going to get kind of overwhelmed for a little bit before he finally takes a fight outside the range of those siege tanks. But man, Epic actually taking a surprisingly good trade there.
Oh, that was a brutal anti-timing. It looked like such a good opportunity for Dolan because of exactly what you mentioned. The combat shields, like it was such a good concave, and the combat shields was so close to completing, but it was like 2 seconds away when he went in there, and the interference matrices were just a little bit late. But actually, no, they weren't even late. It was literally just the combat shields, it feels like. And now we've got Epic pushing forward. He just crushed the fight. He's got so many tanks 6 tanks to 1. I think Dolan might just be about to get pushed out of this game.
Oh, Danger Dolan is definitely the one in danger right now. Third command center being lifted is not a good feeling, but your opponent taking the forward 4th base, which is covered by the angle of his attack, is even scarier. Like you said, just the siege tank count here tells the tale. 7-1. Jeez.
And it is both players are producing 2 tanks at a time. Interference matrix gets up just before the Raven goes down. That is going to be a tank going down, and now it is 8-2 in that siege tank count. Epic at this point, he can set up. He can just siege the almost all of the production. He doesn't even need to move like this. I actually would really prefer if he sieged the production instead. Does lead with a couple of low health tanks, but even they get decent shots before they go down.
I'm actually with you just because the Marine counts are actually relatively even. So pushing forward can be a little bit difficult. But if you just siege up the siege tanks in range of the production, then you don't really need to push that much further forward. You're just going to gradually get further ahead. And he finally is going to be in range of at least some of those main-based unit producing structures. Dolan, is he? Okay, no. He looked like he was going maybe a little bit further north, but seems like he's pulling the boys in here.
Oh, but he goes in with all the Marines first, and then the SCVs show up. Epic will actually abandon the position, which is a little bit surprising, instead electing to get into the main base.
I like it.
I'm okay with it. Yeah, there's a lot of Marines in here. He is going to have an upgrade advantage in a moment. It's going to be 2-1 versus 1-1 for just a little bit of time. Dolan will have the opportunity to clean this up, but Epic has killed so many SCVs. Oh my God, he's actually even just going to win the fight here. Never mind. That's it. Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, pew, pew. Epic takes the 1-0 lead in the series. Wow, I really did think that there was a moment there at the very beginning where it just seemed like Epic had caught Dolan really unprepared for that very, very first little drop harassment that he was going for. And that was, I mean, it looked like Dolan actually managed to make a bad situation still turn out okay by just narrowly surviving with a ton of his units. I mean, he had like 4 SCVs that were at 1 hit point or something. He had the Raven that was barely at a few hit points. He managed to just still come out in a position where it looked like he was okay with the 3rd CC done, faster upgrades and everything. But just these little things, it seems like Epic was able to get a little advantage on. And the 3 seconds, man. The most heartbreaking 3 seconds I have seen in so long.
Yeah.
No combat shields.
Yeah, it's such a big difference. It's such a big difference. Like, combat shields is actually more valuable than 1-1 in almost all fights. Like, it's kind of crazy the difference it can make. But man, it's going to be hard to mentally reset after a game like that, because if it's almost one of those games where it's almost worse if you watch the replay, if that makes sense. You're going to look at it and you're going to be like, no. And it's so much worse that it is a tournament game, because you get to see the countdown timer on the side tick down to combat shields. He's going to see that he hit about literally 2 seconds, 3 seconds before was optimal to do so. Man, great job from Epic there. Great job from Epic, but that is a game of missed opportunities for sure, and that's a painful one.
Yeah. Well, we are getting ready to move into Site Delta for game number 2, as we just get everyone here in the lobby. But man, it was a bit brutal. But I have to say, besides that moment, I did like a lot of the things that Dolan was setting up. I felt like Dolan, there was a missed opportunity on like the armory timing and stuff. So there's definitely some still room for improvement and everything. But that aside, I feel like Dolan was getting into an okay start. If he can do that and not take a fight for the 3 seconds he doesn't have combat shields when his opponent does, I feel like I still believe in Dolan's ability here to make something happen.
Yeah. I mean, it just felt like all of the little micro decisions, though, were just cleaner and better from Epic. And there's so many little micro decisions in TBT, like when to take engagements, how to fight, what to do in each little microcosm of these fights. I don't know, that just felt a little bit tough. But we will get into it here. Unfortunately, the audio issues were not solved, but we are going to go on into the game, and we will do our best to provide these little noises.
Beep, beep, beep. Yeah. As we have the countdown timer going off, I was trying to emulate those beeps, but I think I do such a poor job that I have to explain what I was doing because it's so bad and obvious. People just be like, why is he beeping? Yeah, a little unfortunate there, but thankfully we are close to the end of the day, guys. So all the sound and stuff should be resolved for not tomorrow, because tomorrow's EPT weekly stuff.
Oh.
And in fact, it should be probably Tuesday, I imagine, or we're going to be returning back with more shows.
Yes, I believe it's Tuesday. You and I will be back on Thursday. Yeah.
Yes,
but
sir.
For now, we are heading on into what is potentially our last game of the day. And let's get into it. Spawning down on the bottom right for Storm Gaming, it is Epic. Doo, doo, doo.
And up here in the top left-hand side of the map, the Red Terran player. He is in danger, but maybe he is the danger. It is Cranky Ducklings Dolan.
Bow, ba-dow, ba-dow.
Dolan just had to be, have his back up against the wall here so that he could say, I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me. I almost forgot the line. Dude,
I was like, are you waiting for me to finish it?
No, it's been a long day, and somehow I forgot the line, even though 80% of the line is exactly the same as the first sentence.
Yeah, it's just rearranged.
Dave, don't go 10 hours awake without eating. that's when your brain will start to melt a little.
I'm all
Just
familiar
life
with
advice.
brain melt. When I was casting KSL on Friday night, I guess I just kind of ran out of gas. I hadn't had coffee that day. It was a kind of late night, and the previous, I guess, Thursday was a real long day. It was 12 best of threes that I covered alongside with Loco. So I was already and I had slept very poorly the night before, so I was just exhausted, just totally donezo. And I think I just put forward one of the most delirious casts I have on Friday night. Just absolute, like there was a couple of times where I literally fell asleep during the games because my brain just switched itself off for 20, 30 seconds. There's just silence.
Yeah, I know the feeling, man. And I won't dwell on it too much, but yeah, I'm with you. We haven't even actually had that long of a day, honestly. For me, I think it really is just
my
mistake and not eating. But got a little SCV Reaper micro, and I'm definitely seeing one player getting a nice edge over here. Dolan finding the SCV kill. His Reaper's still at full hit points. He's going to try and go for a snag over here. Oh, he could have committed in for that. He could have gotten it.
Yeah, he was just afraid, I guess. And he ends up getting kind of bullied back by a Reaper that has less HP than his did. He will get he gets the ambush in the middle. Nice grenade from Epic. Can Dolan chase down this one Reaper? Nope, not going to be able to do so. Is there anything about to pop out? There is going to be a Cyclone, but this will be a delay on the command center. Good job from Epic to pull away that one SCV. Still, that was nice for Dolan. Obviously, it didn't result in too much happening. He should not turn around and fight. That is... unless he just snipes the Reaper. Yo, let's go. That was pretty nice.
Yeah, nicely done by Dolan. I mean, remember, it's not just that one Reaper he just snagged, and he might even be able to kill the Cyclone. No. Thought for a moment maybe his Reaper grenade would snag one the Cyclone of Epic, but it's not going to happen. Instead, he's going to find his opponent's Reaper almost. Oh my God, this could actually snowball a little bit. But no, it doesn't look like it's going to be the case, as he does get away alive with that unit. He gets two Marines up on a high ground. Dolan's still going to commit in for that. That one's a little bit bold, but I don't mind it as a scout at least. I feel like that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. It lets him know that there's still Marines being built, but there's almost always going to be Marines built in that scenario unless you do something really weird with ultra fast Vikings being produced out of the starport. That was a little bit of victory disease right there. That was things going well for Dolan, and he got a little bit overconfident. He's fortunate that it didn't turn into a disaster for him. That was actually very close to becoming a really big problem for Epic, though, and a really big opportunity for Dolan. He was able to, if he gets the lock on his opponent's Cyclone, you're going to be able to chase it down. It's the same speed. And then all of a sudden, you've got maybe, what would that have been? 2 Reapers and a Cyclone versus 2 Marines and a Reaper at home. Oh, that's a really nice find right there for Dolan. Epic trying to get in here. SCV's not going to be able to repair the siege tank, but it will be a siege tank for a siege tank. Medevac going down as well. I don't like that he dropped the auto turret. I would have preferred to see the Cyclone. Oh, that's going to work though too. He uses the Reaper to force the Cyclone to turn around, and he gets the lock on with it. Oh, that was very nicely done. Dolan, he has stepped up his micro in a big way in this game number 2. Look at the resources lost.
Beautiful trades. Yeah, beautiful trades here from Danger Dolan. As now it's going to be one other kind of big thing that's coming his way, and that's going to be this drop in the main base. Could snipe off the tech lab that is researching interference matrix, And that would be very, very annoying for him. But his rest of his army is here. The Ravens are here as well. They don't have interference matrix, but they do have auto turrets available.
Yeah, and I think Epic was trying to bait out auto turret usage there, but Dolan kept his head, didn't drop it. Good job there from Danger Dolan. Epic is going to try and get in here. Oh, interference matrix. Okay, no, he's not going to go for it. If he had targeted that, maybe there would have been a chance. Dolan, you know how badly he wants to try and crush that drop with like 3 auto turrets, but it's such a bait. It's such a bait. With the boost off cooldown, you're not going to catch that medevac, I don't think. Not unless you've already put some decent damage in. But Epic is still distracting his opponent very effectively, and Dolan is having a little bit of trouble keeping up with the full production. He does have a faster third command center once again. This is a good situation again, but it was a good situation in game 1 at 2. Game 1 as well, I should say.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, I'm definitely with you. It's not a situation Dolan wasn't able to find himself in where he's got a little bit of not a massive edge, but a decent enough edge in the game. But it's now going to be a question of, can he maintain that lead? Can he find a way to translate that into an actual victory straight up? And that's what Dolan's got to somehow manage and muster. But I'm liking what he's putting down. I'm liking that early game start for him.
Yes. Now, for me, the big thing, where things started to go wrong for Dolan was the armory timing. He did not build an armory at a proper timing in the previous game. Now is when he wants to be building that armory. Every second that passes that he doesn't build that armory, I get a little bit worried.
I'm also kind of worried about the fact that Dolan just hasn't been making siege tanks for a while. He's going to be, it's going to be 3 siege tanks versus 6. So
yeah,
I feel like this is going to be because Epic is looking to make this big push out and everything. He's looking to put on some pressure, surely, right?
I mean, it's TVT. You're just going to want to build siege tanks consistently for a lot of the game. Not all of it necessarily. There are times where you have enough or you have even too many. But we're not there yet. There's that armory coming down. It's about 30 seconds late. That one does hurt for Dolan, and it's not quite as bad as game number 1 in terms of the missed timing. But in game, it hurts. It hurts for sure. Especially since there hasn't really been much action on the map since that second Siege Tank Marine drop went home. And this really does drive the point home about how good Epic is with his macro. Now, it'll be funny if he forgets his armory too. And it's like, oh, they did the same thing. That is a really common thing in TVT. But it'll also be up to when does Dolan actually start the 2-2, because he wasn't quick on starting it in game 1 either, which ended up really hurting him a lot.
Yeah, it's still not starting, and he's adding on his extra factory. He's going for this push out over here. He's going to catch Epic, who is trying to move out with some of these Marines, but it gives Epic the opportunity to make sure all of his tanks are sieged in the right position. And Epic has a lot more siege tanks to play around with this defense. I imagine Dolan's going to have a very difficult time breaking through over here.
Oh, yeah, and he eats a couple of big tank shots. That's such a good tank position, kind of around that little nook. It is such a strong little tank position there. 2-2 does start up for Dolan now, but he had like a minute plus timing advantage in that 2-2 timing, in that 1-1 timing. And now it's only going to be maybe 20 seconds. Depends how quickly Epic starts up his setup. Now, we do need to focus, I need to focus a little bit more on the actual moves through the middle, as is there even a siege tank in the natural? Is there anything to deal with this? There's a siege tank in the natural. It's not sieged up. This is going to be a lot of dead SCVs. Dolan was not prepared for this in the slightest. Woo! Command center is going to get lifted, and repaired, but that means it is going to be a lot more dead SCVs. Still, the medevac's getting targeted down. Good job from Dolan. And he will kind of maroon these Marines. Yeah, it's been a long day.
Yeah. These Marines are going to be marooned, in fact, like you said. But we do have the reinforcements coming out of over here from Epic. He is going to get forced back. Those siege tanks caught on siege, and so many of those Marines were actually with that drop that it does seem like Epic doesn't quite have as many Marines as you'd maybe wanted. He is going to be able to find a siege tank over here, maybe, but at the same time, big interference matrices coming out on both sides. A lot more interference matrices there for Dolan, and Dolan taking a beautiful set of trades over here.
And we talked about game one. There was a lot of missteps. Game two, Dolan ratcheting it up, finding his opportunity, maybe overstimming a little bit here into the natural. Could just go for the third, but he is very clearly in a... He is feeling himself and he wants to go for that kill. I like that. After he gets a big tank shot to the face, he backs away and will go after this third command center instead. Does leave the siege tanks a little bit exposed to this one drop. He's kind of... His army movement still has me a little bit worried, but he is in such a good position. As long as he doesn't fumble this one, he will be able to force a game number 3.
Yeah, we are going to see another stim up over here, but the Marine count is so low. I don't think it matters, though. I think that just continuing to drop even the few remaining Marines over here is going to be enough to break on through here. Command center getting target fire down. There it is. GG. Dolan wins his 5th ever game against Epic in a tournament series.
That was pretty sick. Dolan played really, really well there. That was absolutely fantastic from him. And I am super, super impressed with what he just pulled off. That was awesome.
Yeah. No, I mean, I really have to hand it to Dolan, especially on just the micro front. I feel like he was able to seize these very, very small little micro opportunities, such as being able to pick off an extra siege tank, for example, on the retreat from Epic, because he was able to, move the Reaper around and find like little edges here or there in the very early game micro, and even just like finding the perfect interference matrix timing for the actual big attack that happened, and be able to say, okay, yes, you have a lot of siege tanks, but all of my Ravens are here. All the interference matrices came out. The number of Marines that Epic had, because Dolan was doing a good job of defending against the drop harassment and stuff that happened. He lost some SCVs, sure, but so many Marines were missing there for Epic. Dolan just realized there was an opportunity there, and he did a great job just capitalizing on that. So beautifully handled there by Dolan. I'm hoping we can see some more of that in game number 3, but Dolan's won his game. I'm still kind of rooting for him because I like seeing that kind of underdog story of someone who's never beaten someone before finally making it happen. But Epic is not someone who's going to just, take that laying down.
No, certainly not. And we'll see what he goes for again. There was a little bit of predictability from Epic he went for the 4 Marine tank drop 2 games in a row, and he actually went for the double 4 Marine tank drop, like one and then another same drop right thereafter. I think you got to be a little bit careful about being too predictable, and it seems as though Dolan maybe has the inside track on what his opponent's doing, and we're going to see if that results in anything as we get into our final map of the day. Spawning up in the top left, taking his 5th map in history against this opponent. It is the Cranky Ducklings, Dolan.
And down here in the bottom right-hand side of the map, we have our blue Terran player. He is Epic from Psystorm Gaming. Alex Damien.
I love when people have 2 first names. It's my favorite.
I never thought of it that way. Whenever I hear Damien, I just think of like Batman and...
Oh, I thought you were going to
Robin.
say, what is that old horror movie where it's like Damien's like evil or something? I don't know.
Damien
I probably
Dark?
spoiled it.
No.
I have no idea, to be
I
perfectly
don't know.
honest.
I don't know what movie. You know what? I just realized I'm trying to relate a horror movie with you, and I'm like, wait, I don't watch horror movies.
Neither do I. That's the thing.
I watch sports anime. I watch lighthearted things where the highest stakes that are involved are that someone is going to have to retire from their senior year of high school and go to do a normal job. I'm like, oh no. Those are all the stakes
that's
that
a
I
really
can take.
big stake, man. Real life hits hard. Enjoy that volleyball while you
It's
can.
too real. I need a clown stabbing people. It's less real.
I mean, yeah, I would hope it's less real. At the very least, people go through, the high school graduation into the real world all the time. But we're gonna get into game 3 here. Oceanborn. We actually haven't seen that much Oceanborn today, have we? Like it's happened a few times, but I feel
I saw it in Asia a lot today, but I have not seen it, I think, that much in North America today.
The North Americans instead engage with the insanity of the new map pool, particularly Trigger versus Special. That was, I mean, I guess we had Oceanborn for game 3 on that one anyways, but we had Dynasty and Post Youth. Whereas, actually, Epic is going to move forward once again. Dolan, who gets the better engagement here? I think it is technically Dolan, but he is not mining with his, he's not building with his SCV on the command center. And that is, I think that still is worthwhile for Epic. As weird as that as weird as that sounds, because he loses his SCV, of course. But the extra time that was lost with the command center production time, it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's definitely going to suck to delay that command center, because you're right. That is literally just another SCV that could have been made a little bit later on with a faster command center. But, okay. Going to push back those Reapers. They're not going to end up sacrificing themselves, but that also does reveal the position of them. So Epic is going to try and cut them off. Barely misses the timing of it. And I think he believed for a moment, like, maybe you're coming in from the south side of the bottom of the ramp. No.
That's exactly what it was. He thought he was going down to the bottom left to just keep them there, and it ends up being 2 ships passing in the night. That would have for sure been a dead Reaper for Dolan, maybe both if Epic had responded right away. That is very fortunate for Epic, or for Dolan right there. Very unfortunate for Epic. Now, we're not going to see that Siege Tank Marine drop this game. We're actually going to see Quicker Ravens this time for the first time from Epic. And that is
true.
Yeah, it's just kind of interesting because he's been going for that in both games, but just wants to change things up a little bit. It's The Omen, by the way, is the movie. Twitch chat has our back.
Omen.
Dolan,
not a
this.
Movie connoisseur. I've not even heard of it.
Yeah, I mean it's a pretty old movie. I think it was in like the 70s. I think it's like well before my time.
When is your time?
The 90s. I'm a 90s kid.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why I asked that. I know how old you are.
Yeah, you know, when is your time? Audience? Strange man. I've never interacted with.
I just want to date you so that people remember how old you are. Just they know that you are in fact gradually losing touch with video games. And
gradually. It happened some time ago, my friend. I don't understand these kids and their Fortnite
is that
dances.
Interference Matrix research really late for Epic?
It's pretty late. Dolan is staying on 2 bases. He's gone for a fast third command center each game before this, but he is going to do a pretty... Okay, yeah, he's going to build some Vikings here. Yeah, he's definitely intending to get aggressive here and try and get some damage done on Epic's third base. This is the first time in the series that Dolan is the one being aggressive and Epic is the one with the faster third command center. Now, there's no stim with this attack, but Interference Matrix is available. There is going to be air superiority. There's 3 tanks to 2. Dolan has a lot of potential with this attack.
He absolutely does. Now, Interference Matrix is going to be finished up for Epic as well, despite the fact that it did start up a lot later than Dolan's. He's going to have it just in the nick of time here for the
that
attack.
spawning Marine is so good.
Oh, yeah. Be able to, I mean, he already had his Siege Tank sieged up, funny enough, but at least he can get his Ravens into position with everything else. And I mean, there's only 6 Marines right now. This is a little bit of a scary timing where if you do manage to Interference Matrix your opponent's tanks, there really aren't that many Marines left over. There's not that many units that are even just protecting you anymore.
Dolan is going to slowly leapfrog forward here. He's got his Vikings showing up and he's continuing to build more. We are going to see Interference Matrices coming on in, but they're not going to save this tank. That is huge. He just used 2 Interference Matrices compared to his opponent's 1 and did not kill he didn't even get a single tank shot off. That is actually a really favorable exchange for Dolan right here. And now a 4th siege tank shows up. This is looking really scary for Epic right now.
I am quite concerned right now for Epic, but these siege tanks sieging up in range of another one of these siege tanks, and this is going to trigger Epic to just pull the boys and try to go for the full breakthrough over here. 10 workers, 13 workers going down. Ravens getting picked off left and right. The Vikings reigning supreme in the air, and has Danger Dolan done it? 86 supply to 55. 22 workers killed off. Both of these players reset their siege tank counts, But at the end of the day, it is inarguable that Dolan is not going to be, pretty happy with overall those trades. I guess the only thing that I would say normally is double check on the third command center timing. Dolan is landing his third command center. He's in a good spot.
Yeah, the only thing Dolan is missing right now is, well, actually nothing. He's got stim.
Timing?
He's already got stim. He just needs to start
timing.
combat shields. The upgrade timing, the upgrade timing could be a big issue. He should pull these Ravens back. Right now he is reaching for too much. He saved both Ravens, killed all 3 of his opponents, but he's going to lose one of those Ravens, almost losing another. No, barely keeps it alive. Dolan is overreaching. He does not need to be here. He is.
I'm with you.
He is in. Oh my God, he's going to land. The Vikings go for it. He's going to take down 2 of the tanks very quickly. Third one on the high ground also goes down. Dolan is going to kill another bunch of SCVs. Epic will eventually clean this up, but now it is 63 SCVs to 30. However, that was so many units, crucial units for Dolan going down. He's got 4 units on the field at the moment. Oh my God, is he actually going to lose with a double worker lead?
This is getting a little bit scary. I think that Dolan still has what he needs to deal with this, but he might end up losing the Vikings over here to the Marines, which is half of his units on the map right now.
Yes, but if those get unloaded in his main base, it is a disaster for him. It is so good that he found that drop. That could have been so scary for him. So freaking scary.
It is certainly not over just yet. Epic still has one big fireback that he can launch out at his opponent. 1-1 is about to finish up here for Dolan, though. He has bought himself enough time where there's not going to be the upgrade advantage anymore with Epic's kind of follow-up attack coming back across the map.
And I was critical about his armory timing in the first 2 games because it was off by a lot. This time, it was perfect. Timing was exact. It was exactly when he wanted. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the gas to start 2-2, so that's a little bit of a problem. But I just want to give credit where credit is due. In a chaotic game, he gets the job done when he needs to. However, he still is down in workers. Or sorry, no, he's way ahead in workers. What am I saying? He's overbuilt workers. He is down in army supply by a decent amount, and he doesn't have combat shields. I'm starting to get a little bit worried for Epic or for Dolan, even in a macro game at this point, because he built like so many extra SCVs. He's got basically like 18 extra SCVs that he can't take advantage of until that 4th command center is done. Epic is just going to load up everything into the natural expansion, but there's a sensor tower. Ain't no way you're getting in there. Scan sees the whole army is there. Oh man, Dolan checks the move before it becomes a problem. But I'm starting to get a little bit worried that he might be getting that adrenaline that can happen when you're winning a series, when you're winning a game. He is still so far ahead in economy, but Epic seems more poised at the moment.
Epic is definitely the one that's kind of running around the map and controlling things. The Vikings sniping off a medevac is nice. Does end up losing one of the Vikings over there, which is kind of annoying. But now Dolan can actually pincer this army a bit as he comes in with his Marines, sieges up one of his siege tanks, realizes his opponent's army is also siege up, so he's not going to dive too much further in. But Vikings, I wouldn't have minded if he used those Vikings to try and abuse that kind of dead airspace there to try and pick off more medevacs, but doesn't want to risk it and is just going to try and pull back and play a little bit more defensively for now.
Epic has done a great job of rebuilding SCVs, by the way. He's back up to 57. And even though, he's 20 workers behind, he is effectively, they're on the same economy right now until that 4th base can be landed. Dolan is going to go for a drop, and that will almost certainly cancel the 4th command center. He almost found a triple drop that Epic was trying to move out with. In fact, Epic is just going to ignore him and going to go for the drop anyways.
Wow.
That is, I think he's got enough at home to defend. 2-2 not yet done for either player. Hang on. Without the siege tank support, this is actually a little bit of a problem. Oh my God, the command center is getting so low. If he clicks it, he's going to get it. No repair. That's now a Dolan up 4 bases to 2.
Oh my God, that is absolutely amazing. He's going to right-click it down again. He killed a 2nd command center as it was being built. Suddenly, Danger Dolan has put the danger into Epic's future, And Epic suddenly does not really have something to rely back on. And now the Vikings, the missile turrets, they kill off the medevacs. Everything spirals out of control in a moment. 30 seconds and disaster strikes for Epic. Dolan is on the verge of potentially claiming his first ever tournament victory against Epic.
Oh my God, like this, if you cry every time. A huge concave coming in for Dolan. He is going to clear up this army like nobody's business. I said he looked a little bit shaky, but he survives the scariest moment in the game right there, gets the decisive kill on his opponent's third command center, gets it again, and then cleans up everything that Epic had. There's just a small handful of Marines left on the other side of the map. Dolan is up 50 army supply. He's up 22 SCVs. And now with the fourth command center landing, it is going to turn into a real economic advantage. Unless, of course, it just goes down. But Dolan, I think, can just go straight up the gut and win the game. Oh, he is hesitating with the main army.
Yeah.
But he is going to go, I think. Oh, he's going to go for it.
If Dolan doesn't manage to win this game, I feel like he's going to just not launch StarCraft for like at least 3 months. Because this game should be his for the taking. He has lost a lot of his Marines. Actually, has he lost all of his Marines at that front line? It's just siege tanks there now. He's having to pull back. But that is still going to be too much. GG gets called.